Hi YouTube. So I just wanted to make a quick video on the upcoming midterm elections. I think that a lot of people don't understand what's at stake politically in our world right now, not just in November 2018, but in general, what's kind of been at stake over the last 30 to 50 years. There's been a really strong movement to try and overthrow the US government and implement a one world government, new world order. And it seemed far-fetched for a lot of people for a long time, but now that there is the age of information and the age of internet, people are really starting to educate themselves and become more and more aware about the deep state, or the shadow government, which is basically corporate America, corporate interests, special interests, United Nations, the World Trade Organization, and the Illuminati, all those other things that people say, oh, that's too far-fetched, that can't actually be real. So what happened is Trump, against all odds, won the presidency. Whether you like him or you don't, he is against the people who are our enemies, people, the enemies of all American people, these people who want to overthrow the Constitution and implement a new one world government with no borders, with no constitution, with no private property, with no privacy at all, which you've already seen things like that already be taken away with the NSA and Homeland Security. And at the end of the day, Trump has been hated on by all of the media mongrels since even before he was elected, and especially since he's been elected, just because he isn't on board with them. He's not in their pockets. He has no intention to implement a one world government. He's not part of their agenda, and they hate him for that. And they've been trying to impeach him and ruin his name and taunt him ever since he got into office. So his agenda is a good agenda in the sense that he's protecting the Constitution, he's protecting the Bill of Rights, he's protecting the American flag, he's protecting what it means to be a sovereign free nation and a sovereign free people. And I support that. Do I agree with everything he does? Not necessarily. He's a smart man, and I'm glad that he won the presidency over our opposition. Hillary Clinton is a criminal, and if anybody doesn't know about that, it's really easy to find out what kind of criminality she's been involved with. Her and her husband, Bill Clinton, the Bushes, they've all been a part of basically the shadow government, and none of them have had the American people's best interest, including Obama. And I was born in the early 80s, and I grew up in a much freer America that I've seen today. And I hear my mom and dad talk about how America in the 50s and 60s was so much freer than it was when I grew up, and than it is now. And I see what's going on, and I have a son now, he's 3, and I look at the future of our country, and I support immigrants, I support all nations that want to come here and integrate and support the US Constitution and become part of this country. I absolutely support that, and I think that that's a wonderful thing. But at the end of the day, I just question, if people are being lied to, people are being misled when it comes to the Democratic left, and especially the extremist progressive left. The Hillary Clintons, the Obamas, even though Bush was a hardcore Republican, he was totally in the pockets of the global elite left, the globalists. And Donald Trump is not. And right now, his agenda, so much is at stake with what's going on in November 2018 with the midterm elections, with all the different cabinet spots that are up, all the Senate, the Congress. And I recently just moved to Texas from California. I'm from Northern California, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And I've watched it be destroyed over the last 35 years of my life, go from a beautiful paradise to basically a rundown ghetto. The whole entire state has turned into, well, it's been run by, complete criminals and complete leftist, elitist, globalists that have been destroying that state and robbing it blind. It used to be 7th or 8th or 5th or 6th in global economy, and now it's 7th or 8th. It takes a lot to bleed the global economy like that, to bleed the wealth of a state like that. but they're doing it little by little, and it's going into their pockets, and it's coming out of the American people's pockets. People are leaving California in droves, and all that's left is an uneducated, well, not all that's left, but the majority of people are either unable to leave or they're okay with the current situation. And the current situation is a dictatorship style government of complete, it's chaos. It's chaos. California, all you need to do is go spend a month in San Francisco or Los Angeles, even Sacramento, and you'll see the kind of chaos, the kind of homelessness, the kind of illegal drug activity, illegal gang activity, rape, crime, murder, burglary. It's absolutely chaos. You're not even safe in that country to ride your bike down the bicycle path, to go on a walk at the park. It is a third world country. It's crazy. You don't even feel safe. And I fully blame that on the liberal left, and I fully blame that on the globalist elite and the agenda to destroy the American people and take away our rights and our freedom and our privacy and our family. And anyway, I just want to say that coming to Texas, it's been such a welcoming, wonderful change. There's so much beauty and normalcy here, and family and connective value, and there's very little crime where I am. I'm at a small town about 60 miles out of Austin, 60 miles west of Austin, 60 miles west of San Antonio. It's kind of northwest of San Antonio, southwest of Austin, and it's in the hill country. It's gorgeous. It reminds me a lot of Northern California with rolling hills and rivers and oak trees. And I just feel so grateful for a place like Texas that still remains, that's clean, that's healthy, that's safe, that's sane, that is a normal, safe place for me to come and raise my family. And the people here are all family oriented, and they're just good American, hardworking people. Some of them are from Germany, some of them are from Mexico, some of them are from Argentina, some of them are from Cuba. They're from all over the place, from China, from Korea. There definitely are immigrants in Texas. It's not just like this white state. There's lots of different races, there's lots of different people, but they're all hardworking Americans. They've all come here for the American dream. And that's why Texas is a Republican place, because it supports business, it supports, you living the American dream. California doesn't support that. Liberals don't support that. They don't want you to have ownership of property. They don't want you to have freedom. They don't want you to have a family. They want to turn everybody gay and transgender, and they want that to be the norm. They don't want, the family is the stronghold, and God, and having God as a sanctity in your life and someone that you can look up to and believe in is so fundamental for human health, for mental health, for family health. Having something, a higher power that you look up to, believing in something bigger than yourself, like your country, God, your family, your community. Those are all so important, and that's all what Texas represents, and that's why I'm so grateful that Texas is Republican. And just as far as these midterm elections go, if anybody wants to vote liberal, I urge you, go to California, go to Washington, D.C., go to Detroit, Michigan. Go to the country, go to these places in the country that are completely liberal, and you'll run away with your tail between your legs as fast as you can, and you'll never look back. Because if you want to know what liberalism leads to, just go to California. Ask anybody who's left California. Most of them are not liberals. If they left California, they left because they're looking for a better way of life, and liberalism doesn't provide that. Liberalism is chaos. So I don't want to ramble. I usually am not. This is my first video ever that I've made, and I don't want to talk bad about liberals, the people. I'm talking bad about their globalist elite lying agenda that confuses the masses into thinking that they're trying to help people when in fact they're actually trying to harm us. And it goes directly back to socialism, communism, and complete dictatorship. And if you go and you look at China or Russia or North Korea or Venezuela or any place that has ever had communism or socialism as a fundamental place, including Sweden, including Scandinavian countries, most of those people's parents will tell their children, if you ever want to do anything with your life, move to America, because America is the place of the free. And we are a free country, and we need to understand that Democrats and the liberal left want to take that freedom away. So if anybody cares about their freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the right to bear arms, freedom of the right to own property, freedom of a speedy and due process trial, and believes in the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and believes in what this country stands for, I urge you to vote Republican, and I urge you to continue to wake up to what's been